Welcome back. On today's episode, we're taking a look at the lubrication system. After completing this topic, you will understand the purpose of a lubrication system and be able to identify system components and their function. You will understand the key properties of engine oil and the flow of oil through the lubrication system. Lubrication system. The primary purpose of the lubrication system is to circulate oil throughout the engine. The oil cleans, cools, and protects the engine's moving parts from wear. Lubrication system components. The lubrication system consists of 1. An oil pan or sump. 2. A suction bell. 3. Oil pump. 4. A pressure relief valve. 5. Oil filter with a bypass valve. 6. Engine oil cooler with a bypass valve. 7. Main oil gallery. 8. Piston cooling jets. 9. Crankcase breather, connecting lines and pipes, and the oil itself. Oil pan. The oil pan, or sump, acts as a reservoir for the engine oil. The oil pan also dissipates heat from the oil to the atmosphere. The oil pan is located on the bottom of the engine block. Suction bell and inlet screen. From the oil pan, oil passes through an inlet screen and into the suction bell. The inlet screen prevents large pieces of debris from entering the oil system. The suction bell transports oil to the oil pump. Oil pump and relief valve. The oil pump creates flow, which circulates oil throughout the engine. The oil pump is located in or near the oil pan. The pump is driven by the crankshaft via an oil pump gear. A pressure relief valve is normally located near the oil pump. The relief valve protects the lubrication system from high pressures. Oil cooler and bypass valve. From the oil pump, oil travels through the oil cooler. Oil coolers remove heat from the oil. Oil fills the oil cooler housing. Inside the housing are tubes which carry engine coolant. Heat transfers from the oil to the coolant. The oil cooler also has a bypass valve. Oil filter and bypass valve. Oil flows from the oil cooler to the oil filter. Lubricating systems can use one or more oil filters, depending on the design. Filters remove debris and metal particles from the oil. Filters use bypass valves as well. Oil filter and bypass valve. Oil flows from the oil cooler to the oil filter. Lubricating systems can use one or more oil filters, depending on the design. Bypass filter system. A bypass filter system uses 2 oil filters. 90% of the oil flows through the primary filter and 10% flows through the bypass filter. Usually the bypass filter is more tightly woven to trap extremely small particles. Bypass filtering systems also use bypass valves. 1. Primary, regular filter. 2. Bypass filter. 3. Oil pump. And 4. Engine or component. Oil gallery. On some turbocharged engines, oil flows from the filter to the turbocharger through an inlet line. An outlet line returns oil to the oil pan. On other engines, clean oil leaves the oil filters and enters the main oil gallery. The main oil gallery is located in the block. This is the primary oil passage through the block. Oil flow. From the oil gallery, the oil flows to all moving parts of the engine, including the main bearings and crankshaft. 1. Outlet. 2. Inlet. Bearings. Oil flows from the gallery to the crankshaft, which then lubricates the main and connecting rod bearings. 1. Crankshaft main bearings. 2. Oil manifold. Cylinder wall lubrication. Oil reaches the cylinder walls as it is slung out of the rod bearings and splashed off the piston under crowns. How oil pressure is created. Oil travels through passages to lubricate all moving parts, including the valve train, injection pump housing, timing advance unit, and other accessory components. Oil drains back to the oil pan through passages. The oil lines, passages, and bearings restrict the flow of oil, which creates oil pressure. Most of the oil system pressure is created by the main bearings. The oil pressure reading on a gauge is the result of this normal restriction. Piston cooling jets. Piston cooling jets spray oil to the underside of each piston and will help lubricate the cylinder walls. Crankshaft breather. Crankcase breathers vent combustion gases that leak past piston rings. This maintains stable pressures within the crankcase. Breathers are often mounted on top of the engine. This equalizes pressure inside the engine crankcase with pressure on the outside and permits oil to easily drain back to the oil pan. Oil filter. In the lubrication system, the oil filter requires the most maintenance. It does get dirty and, if not properly maintained, can cause lubrication system problems. Thanks for watching. That's the end of episode 2, Lubrication. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's free and you'll keep up with lessons.